Hey guys, it's me, Yaya Diamond. What's up, peoples? How you doing? It is a great day. I'm so very excited to be here. Yes! So you don't even know what it took to get back here. I'm telling you, I'm so excited to have authors back on the show again today. And we're talking to JD Hawkins. Now, I've heard her name before. I have. I love reading. I love reading. I absolutely love books. I like books in my hand. I like audiobooks. I like all kinds of books. And JD Hawkins is an amazing writer. Okay, she doesn't even know that I kind of knew of her before. But she's amazing. I want to welcome her to the show. Thank you so much for joining me. Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you okay. So first of all, thank you so much for doing what you do. I mean, your books are, I kind of like, kind of like fan crushed you for a minute, but it's okay. Because I mean, it's so like I get to talk to you. So
Yeah.
I really want to find out what started you on your journey, especially with like the historical fiction, the Civil War area, all that. I mean, just all of that. Tell me about this.
Well, I started writing when I was very young. I started with songs, poetry, and as my kids grew older, I wrote longer books, picture books, storybooks, young adult, and graduated from there to novels. And I went on a trip to Gettysburg several years ago with my son, and I was so inspired by the enormity of the battlefield. I'd never been to a Civil War battlefield before, and I thought it was going to be like a football field or something. That's how naive I was. But I was just impressed. And then I got to thinking, well, why doesn't anybody write about the Southern perspective? Because all the books I've read about are about officers or the Union Army or whatnot. So I decided I'd write a book about just a typical Southern soldier and what would inspire him to fight. And it wasn't for slavery. It wasn't because most Southerners didn't have slaves. Only 4% had slaves.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the slave owners were actually Black themselves. So it's a really interesting time period. The Victorian era has always impressed me and fascinated with me. And part of the reason why we lived in Colorado for so long, because I loved those old mining towns and things like that. But getting back to my books, I got inspired to write a story, and I had the main character be a Confederate cavalryman.
Mm-hmm.
And one book turned into two, turned into three. And then I went back and wrote a prequel.
Oh, wow.
And more recently, I've written two side stories to go with the series. It's called the Renegade series. And right now I'm in the process of editing all the books all over again.
Oh my gosh.
Once I'm finished with that, I'm going to start the 5th and final installment of the Renegade series.
Wow. So your books cover various aspects of the Civil War and Reconstruction period. How did you approach the research, though? I mean, I know you said that you kind of based it on a factual but fiction kind of thing too. So what was that like for you? What's that process?
Well, I kind of took the Forrest Gump approach, where the main character is fictitious, but everything around him actually happened. So there was a lot of research involved, a lot of old books I went through. Oh my gosh, so many old boring books. But to put the story together, it kind of needed to. And it was interesting because I found a lot of flaws where they didn't get the dates right. So I kind of had to guess and just stuff like that. I mean, the major events they had correct, but just little things, So anyway, that's kind of how I got the inspiration. I just wanted this guy to be from Alabama. I picked a random town, Ryan Crossroads, which my maiden name is Ryan, so that's why I picked it. And the whole story just kind of fell together. It's interesting. Any writer will tell you once they start getting involved with a story, the characters take on personas of their own and help you write the story, or they'll change the direction of the stories.
Wow. Wow, you've written so many books. Okay, you've written so many books, and but out of this series, which one challenged you the most?
I would say the first one is pretty challenging, and that was based off an actual soldier's journal. But
Mm-hmm.
it was pretty graphic, and it was hard writing some of that stuff. I had nightmares, I'll tell you. One time I thought I heard a bullet whiz past my head when I was laying in bed. I'm like, what was that?
You read that book. You read that book. What?
Yeah. And then the third book in the series, it's called A Rebel Among Us. And there's a section in that story where he ends up in a prison. And that was really hard to write about too, because I had to do a lot of research. And once again, reading a lot of journals that the guys had written, and just horrific, horrific stuff, you know.
Wow.
But,
Wow.
yeah.
So, Double-Edged Sword explores the Reconstructive era. How did writing about this period differ from writing about the Civil War itself?
Well, at that point in the series, I've already gotten many of the characters are already developed, so it's more of a character arc for a lot of them.
Okay.
And the Reconstruction period just kind of flows into from the end of the Civil War. It just kept flowing. The story just kept flowing into the next book. So it wasn't too hard writing about Reconstruction, but it was really difficult to try and wrap your head around it because just the politics involved, and there was still a lot of hatred, it was just, yeah. And then Lincoln had just been assassinated, and just crazy stuff, just crazy time.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, okay, so you've written your books, you got your books done, you've done the boring studying. You've done all the boring studying, all the boring journals and all the things, and you've lived in it, you've dreamt it. So what about, I mean, so how did you kind of incorporate this all to be exciting for not only elders and mid-age people, but also teenagers? I mean, think about it. This is a history thing that you've created a fictional character, but everything else around it was historically correct. How did you do that? And does it appeal to the teenager?
I think it does. I think it definitely does. I think it appeals to everyone, really, from middle school on up. I've had both men and women request the book, and just, yeah, a lot of people suggest that they should be incorporated in school curriculums. And the main character is actually only, when the story begins, he's only 16 at the start. And when he enlists, he's 18. So he's still a teenager. And then by the time I start this fifth book, he'll be in his 20s, but still pretty young.
Yeah.
And most of the characters are pretty young, but it's also his parents, what they go through, and just any age group, really. And it doesn't really have to be people specifically interested in war or history, because it's also a family drama. There's a lot of mystery and suspense and adventure in all the books, and a lot of subplots going on at the same time. So
Nice.
yeah.
That is really good. I mean, you've had to really interject yourself into this and spend so much time into this, and give of your knowledge, of your creativity, of everything. And I appreciate that so very much. Today we're talking to JDR Hawkins, and I kind of crushed on her a little bit earlier because she's got some really cool books out, and I've heard of her before, and it's just an amazing thing to have her on the show. Are you currently working on any new projects? And with the books, first of all, let me ask you a question, because it's kind of, do you have any like surprising reviews or comments about your books?
As far as reviews go, not specifically. I mean, for the most part, they've gotten really, really great reviews. They've all won awards. 3 of the 4 books in the series have won the John Eston Cook Award, which is a very prestigious award that's given to writers of Confederate history for fiction. And I was the first person to win that award that was self-published. So I kind of was breaking the glass ceiling there a little bit. That's part of the reason why I used my initials for my book. Initially, I wasn't sure how men would react to having a
Yeah.
female author.
Yeah.
And but it hasn't been an issue at all. Everybody's been
Right.
super great.
That's good.
And yeah, but still at the time I didn't know. So I'm like, yeah, I just won't tell them I'm a woman. And we'll
Yeah,
see
kind
what
of break
happens.
that. Kind of break it to there a little bit,
Yeah.
a little mysteriously. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there aren't a lot of women writing about what I'm writing, with the war scenes and things like that. There's a lot of romance authors and stuff like that, but nothing like this. So
Yeah.
not too many.
That is kind of cool. So, do you have any future plans? I know that you were saying about the new thing, but after you finish this whole series, this everything, what what do you plan to do?
I have another book in the works. It's a cozy mystery. It's based on my hometown, Sioux City, Iowa,
Ooh, Sioux City.
during the Depression, and it's loosely based on my great aunt and uncle. They ran a hotel downtown, and supposedly they were involved with Capone and all these other people coming and going.
What?
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty interesting. So I'm gonna I'm gonna work on that book, and then after that, I don't know. I might start another series, or I might continue this one and just write about one of the kids and continue it. I don't know. I haven't really thought that far out, but
Wow.
yeah.
Writing books has always been something that I have always thought that was just amazing. Like, I love listening to books. I love reading books. And I literally don't even watch TV that much, not unless there's something interesting on, but usually the TV is off. Uh, what is it like for you as an author to create these characters, to be in this whole thing? Does it create a world for you that is beyond the world of television, beyond the world of all these other things that are going on today?
Yes and no. I mean, I try to stay informed. My husband is totally into politics, so I'm always getting an update from him. But to write the books, you definitely have to keep yourself in a separate mindset. So, when I'm there in the zone, I kind of just close the door and turn on Civil War music so I can kind of stay focused in the time period and just focus on it. And it takes me typically about a year to research and write a book. And so during that time, I don't see my husband too much, and I just isolate myself. But other than that, I think they both kind of go together,
Yeah.
real life and writing.
I appreciate what you do.
Thank you.
I really do. And I know it takes a lot. And not being able to see your husband as often as you like during that time, really, people don't understand. It takes a lot out of the author to actually put these things together. And I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Do. Where can people find you? Now, I know we were looking at it earlier in the interview, we were looking at your website. And I know your website here is jdhawkins.com. Am I correct?
It's JDR Hawkins.
Oh, JDR. Okay. So I know
Yeah.
your website is jdrhawkins.com. So great. And we saw that. But where else are you? Like, are you on Facebook? Are you on Instagram? Where else are you?
I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, X. My books are available on Amazon, and I'm on Goodreads, just about anywhere.
Yes, I see that. And you're on X as well. Well, what we're going to do is have the link to your website in the description box. So that's jdrhawkins.com. So people can actually go to your website and look at the books, but also follow you on any of their favorite social media platforms that they would like to follow you. Is there anything that we didn't say today, or we didn't ask you, that you would like to say something, or even to your fans today?
Yeah, well, first of all, I appreciate everyone who's been with me from the start. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. It's awesome. It means so much to me. I get letters all the time, and emails, and it just makes my day. It's really wonderful to know that I'm making an impact in somebody's life and actually doing something that's not just keeping me occupied. I wanted to mention my other book. It's a nonfiction book about horses. It's about Confederate war horses. It's called Horses in Gray. And I just was inspired to hear or to write this book after I heard a guy give a little talk on the horses. And I knew of some of the horses, but then when I started researching them, I thought, nobody knows what these poor animals went through, and their story needs to be heard too. So I decided to write a book on it. And yeah, it's called Horses in Gray, Famous Confederate War Horses.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That is cool. That is cool. Yeah, because the animals, a lot of times these animals suffered and they were pushed to beyond their limits. I would say beyond.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's because of the Civil War and what those horses went through that they started certain, like the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals and things like that. So, yeah.
Wow. Well, that's amazing. I want to thank you so much. Thank you very much, Ms. Hawkins, for being on the show. I appreciate it so very much. We're going to put your information in the description box so people can find it. I just say, go there, support, follow, like, comment, ask questions. Yes, definitely. And I'm sure she will appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And thank you, JDR Hawkins, for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And until next time, guys, don't forget to dare to be different. Bye. Thank you for watching.